So I think we should be now. There we go. We are now recording. So I'm just going to bring up my slides. Oh, is that started for everybody?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yes.
super.
Thank you.
And thank you to Untar for this beautiful picture of the frozen canal, which was from last week, hot off the press. Okay, so the plan for today, we're going to do a little bit of a refresher just so that we can all catch up on what Green Westbourne is all about. I know we've got some new people here along today and some people who've been involved right from the beginning. We're going to have some little 2-minute updates from some of the projects that have happened in the last couple of years so that we can really get a feel for what's been going on under Green Westbourne. It's very exciting to have our new climate action coordinator here along today, Lola. So she's not officially started in her role yet, no one quiz her too much, but she's just come along just to introduce herself. And we can tell you a little bit about her role and what that's going to involve. So it's lovely to have you here, Lola. And Joe's going to be telling us about the Green Festival on the 9th of March from Grand Junction and opportunities to get involved in that. We're going to tell you a little bit about Westbourne's new air pollution monitor, which is very exciting and went up last week. And we're going to have Inga from Clean Air Bayswater, who's going to tell us a little bit about how they've used their air pollution monitor to engage local residents around air pollution. And then we've got a bit at the end where we can go into breakout rooms and have a bit of a chat around different themes. And yes, so that's sort of the plan for today. Is everybody okay with that? I can only see 4 people, so if anybody's not, then say now or forever hold your peace. Okay, great. So let's go on. So what is Green Westbourne? So Green Westbourne started in 2021 and it is basically about residents and organisations and anybody who sort of cares about Westbourne coming together to create a shared vision for the future of Westbourne, for Westbourne to be greener, healthier and better for nature. It's a network of residents, organisations and businesses working together to achieve that vision. So, you know, everybody here today is part of that network. And it's a series of projects and initiatives that could kind of range from landscaping, wilding and greening works, food growing and permaculture, volunteering and resident training, being active outdoors, nature connection activities, school and youth projects, and green enterprise and employment schemes. So in 2021, we had some meetings like this, bringing together local residents and organisations, and we made the Green Westbourne plan. And we came up with 3 themes, so greener place, greener lives and greener opportunities. So we decided that we wanted Westbourne to be a place with more trees, plants and flowers on buildings, the streets and in parks, more spaces for everyone to grow food, spaces that work better for wildlife, more accessible, inviting and safe outdoor spaces, a canal that's more inviting and better for nature, buildings with lower carbon footprint and less waste, more natural defences from flooding and extreme heat, and less air, water and noise pollution. And we want this to have real impacts for the people who live in Westbourne and spend time in Westbourne, so that they have more ownership of their green and blue spaces and they take practical action to make Westbourne greener, healthier and better for nature. They can grow more food, spend more time outdoors, travel more by walking and bike, and use the outdoors and nature to support their health and well-being. And we want people to feel proud of Westbourne's green and blue spaces, have a stronger connection to nature, and have an increased understanding of how they can help tackle the climate emergency. And we also want this to move into people's opportunities for their future and for their work and careers. We want people who live in Westbourne to gain new green skills, knowledge and qualifications and have greater access to green work experience, employment and enterprise opportunities. So this is an ambitious plan that kind of, I guess, lots of local residents and organisations have committed to it towards over sort of, I guess, the longer term. So in 2022, at our last meeting, we identified some priority projects. So obviously that's a very broad and ambitious plan, and we chose some things that we wanted to start off focusing on. We wanted to run a project to support people to grow food in their gardens and balconies and windowsills, a cooking project using homegrown veg, litter picking days, a youth organised festival focusing on nature and climate change, an allotment for young people, walking routes and trails to help people explore green spaces, and beehives. So that was what we decided in 2022 was what we wanted to focus on. And since then, sort of different residents and different groups have been looking at taking forward some of these things, trying to find funding if it's needed. And what I'd like to do next is just give you a little taste of what's been happening since then. So since then, lots of people have been putting the plan into action. So we formed the Green Westbourne Committee. So the Green Westbourne Committee, headed up by Lena, is part of the Westbourne Forum, and really is there to make sure that the kind of Westbourne residents and groups stay at the heart of everything that happens under Green Westbourne and provide a leadership role for the project. We've been trying to fundraise for a paid role to coordinate the project. We had the big Green Westbourne Walk event in summer 2022, where we took people on a tour around the key green spaces in Westbourne. The Grand Junction Green Kids Club, it's after school club, which has been going from strength to strength. There's been balcony planting workshops. The community gardening project in the allotments has also been going from strength to strength. We've had Antar's clothes swap project, solar panel feasibility studies, litter picking with Westbourne Park Family Centre and Happy Lizzie, and women's cycling group. And also there behind the scenes has been a lot of work towards a young people's allotment, which is still a work in progress, but there is progress being made. So lots of things achieved there. So to give us a little bit more of a flavour of what's been going on in Green Westbourne, I thought it'd be nice to have some little updates from some of these projects. So we're going to start off with Joe Merritt from Grand Junction, who's going to give us a little update on the Green Kids Club. I'm going to stop sharing for a minute just so that we can see you, Joe. Maybe I'm going to pin you or spotlight you. There we go. Hopefully this works.
You want to mute me? There we go. Hi everyone, sorry, I'm using the mouse on here and Lena's using the thingy mouse and we're confusing each other, sorry. Lovely to see you all. If you don't know me, I'm Jo. I am the Young People and Families Manager here at Grand Junction. And excuse my phone, I've made a few notes on here, so I just wanted to give you a very brief update. So Green Kids Club, oh, we've got someone coming in. Hi, Sarah, no coming in. So yeah, we've been running for a year now. We've just expanded. We had a extra little bit of funding from Keith Cookson, which is fantastic, through the Westminster housing pot, which is fab. So we've actually got nearly 40 children attending Green Kids Club this term. We're working with the lovely Myra, who's I think on this call now, which is fabulous. Oh, and this term we have got Electric Future Foods, which is another fantastic company that have written books for children all about growing and things. So yeah, as I said, we've got nearly 40 children between the ages of 6 and 11 coming every Tuesday after school here at Grand Junction. We are in the process of applying for funding again, so we can continue it for another couple of years. Last term, as an example, we did with the children homemade bath bombs, which they took home as presents. They made raw protein balls, which are really healthy and really delicious. They made them and took them home as well as gifts. They've learned all about, Myra's been fantastic at teaching them all about really positive things that have been going on in the world to do with climate change. So not just teaching them about the negatives, but saying, look, people can make a change, and trying to instill that in our young people to say, look, you can be a change maker, and here are some fabulous projects going on. They also will be very much involved in the change outside on Westbourne Green. So when we're going to be replanting lots of lovely things in those planters, and yeah, getting the kids involved as much as we can. Thank you.
Lovely, thank you, Jo. Yeah, lots of really great stuff happening there. Super. So we're going to hand over now. It's actually very nice because conveniently the next two speakers are all in the room with Jo. So this is our room of speakers. So we're going to hand over to Lena now for a little update on the Let's Grow Westbourne project in the allotments.
Hi everyone, my name is Lena. I'm a community and maternity champion project leader for Westbourne. and also I'm also part of the Green Westbourne. The update that we got in here, we got funding from the Green Westminster funding £18,000 to make the green improvement in the space outside Grand Junction Cafe, and the allotment beside the feedback from our gardener. And the second thing that we did the planning a session with our gardener. So we run a weekly allotment that run by the community in Westbourne. We have twice a week. That one is the 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock on Sunday, which is run by the community. We partnership with the Hammersmith Community Garden to run the allotment. And last week also we met with the participant to plan what we're going to do in 6 months and what we need to see in springtime. The fruit and vegetable, they all choose what they want. The third thing, Moya and Michelle, she's sitting next to me, from Urban Wise, they connect with us with the community champion, and they bring 2 groups from Edward Wilson to visit the allotment. So we have 2 groups from Edward Wilson to come and visit the allotment, around 25 children each group. They came with their teacher, of course, and Michelle and Maya also joined them. And Megan from the Hammersmith Community Garden led the session with help with the community champion. So the children have been asking questions, learning about plant, and also know that we have allotment for them also, for them and for their family in Westbourne area. And the last thing, during the Christmas time in December, we had support from the groundwork to come and help us to clean the compost bin. So they cleaned the compost bin, and also they put a new green compost bin now. And after a while, Megan and Morat, they're going to make a sign, so we can put like information for the resident to know what to put in the compost bin and stop putting plastic and stuff inside it. So that one have been done. So we cleaned the allotment compost bin, and just we waited for the council now to remove the stuff that they need to remove from there. So we clean it all. So we just wait for the council. So this is all the update we have from our side. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you, Lena. That's great.
Thank you.
Super. I think now we're going to hand over to Nta. So Nta could give a little update on the clothes swap project. And I think you've also got a bit of a request, Nta.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Nta. I'm a Westbourne resident as well as a maternity champion. Most of you have known in 2021. Yeah. I got funding through the council through what they call it, community priority program, to run sort of an eco-friendly baby swap and clothes, toys, books, anything babies really. So I did that for a year, the funding, when the funding was available at the Baptist Church. Unfortunately, obviously the funding wasn't extended. But when you know somebody that knows somebody, other opportunity comes up. So I'm now still running it voluntarily at the Wedge Center. I'm sure most of you know that, Elgin Avenue. And yeah, it's still the same thing. Obviously, it's a part of the project that is missing, which was the mending workshop that I was able to obviously pay a seamstress to, show residents how to fix, minor repairs on damaged items. So that aspect is not there because there's no funding to pay somebody to do it. However, again, obviously, when I started, it was, for Green Westbourne. Obviously, without the funding, I'm unable to sort of rent a venue or storage space to carry on in Westbourne, which is why I'm in Elgin Avenue, because the hall is free and the space I'm using is free. I think, you know, there's a need for it, which is why I didn't stop. I just carried on. But it'd be nice to sort of still have something happening in Westbourne. My sort of request would be to sort of, you know, partner with somebody where I can get a free venue, even if it's, I don't know, twice a month, or you know, to still, you know, include Westbourne in it. I know people still come from Westbourne to my session in Elgin Avenue, but obviously this is where it was bed. So I would like it to still have an effect on this side. So I'm open for options. Yeah, and obviously, apart from doing it there, I do go to any event that is happening. On Saturday, we had event in Church Street Neighborhood Forum, and I was there with my 4 children, and I took staff there, and they all went. So there is a need in everywhere, and it'd be nice to have a hub in all of the, you know, the area. But yeah, baby step. But yeah, if anyone can give me a free space to, you know, start and bring it back to Westbourne, that would be great. But yeah, so thank you. That's it.
Thanks, Antar. Yeah, and just I think it's really a lovely example of Antar kind of taking the ideas of Green Westbourne and running with it as a resident and setting up this project off her own back based on, you know, kind of sort of seeing piles of clothes just thrown away in the street and thinking what a waste it was. And it's become a really amazing vehicle also to bring local residents together. So if anybody does have any space they can offer to Antar or any other way they can support, then let me know and I can put you in touch. So yes, thank you, Antar. Okay. We're going to hand over now to Neil for a little bit of update on solar panels on the Stowe Centre. So I'm going to try and spotlight Neil. Hopefully that's worked. Go for it, Neil.
Great. Well, good morning, everybody. Great to see you all again, and great to see you from not seeing you yesterday. Yeah, some good news. I guess this time next month we'll have solar panels on the Stowe Centre. Work is beginning next couple of weeks, and is covering both the Stowe and the medical centre. So that comes out of, I don't know how many years of work, but it's really brilliant news. And I should say too that we've just begun, I think it's fair to say, with Natasha Woodward, who's here. Hello, Natasha. We've just begun a similar kind of approach, and I hope this time it'll be a little quicker on Mary Mag's Church, which we hope to be able to raise money for through the carbon offset fund. We've got a very good relationship with Westminster Council now on the green side, and the carbon offset fund, which you should also know about really, is a very good way of putting in projects. They've got to be decarbonization projects, really. So we have to make the case that whatever we're putting funding applications in for are decarbs. So that's the latest on that. And we can keep you updated. Natasha and I can keep you updated on what happens on Mary Mag's, and we can just go forward feeling really very good about this now.
That's great, Neil. That's really great, exciting news, because that's been a long time in the making. So
Indeed.
yeah, that's great. Thanks for the update. And just to say that we're hoping to have Westminster, somebody from Westminster Climate team coming in to the next meeting to tell us about what they've been doing around carbon emissions, and particularly any of those schemes that impact on Westbourne. So yeah, that's brilliant.
You're muted, Lizzie.
Lizzie, you've gone on mute.
Sorry. So yeah, so there's a message in the chat from Rachel saying the North Paddington programme is launching a new micro grant scheme for £750 a time, open to residents and organisations, and contact Stella Hales for more info. If you wanted to put the contact details in the chat, then that would be great, Rachel. Thank you for that. Super. Okay, and I think that the final, I'm going to remove the spotlight from Neil now. I think the final update is actually from me about the air pollution monitor. So I'm going to share my screen again, because I've actually got a photo of it. So this really exciting grey box on the top right of the screen is our new air pollution monitor for Westbourne. Aren't you glad that I showed you a photo of that life-changing photo? So this is something that we've applied for kind of on behalf of Westbourne Forum through the Breathe London network. So they're working with Imperial College, and they've got a whole network of these monitors across London, and they give a live feed of air pollution levels in the area. So this one is actually attached to Edward Wilson Primary School. So thank you to Edward Wilson Primary School. I think Carol was hoping to pop along today. I'm not sure if she's here. So they were leaning out of a window in a very safe way, installing this last week. And I should also now be able to show you the live feed from that, if the technology goes well. So anybody can go to this website, which I'll put in the chat in a minute. And so you can just go onto this map here, and you can see here's our Green Westbourne air pollution monitor. Can you see the pop-up? I just suddenly worried that you might. Can you see the little graph there? Yeah. So that is the live feed up until 9 o'clock this morning. On particulates and nitrogen dioxide. I'm going to be honest with you all, this doesn't mean a lot to me at the moment, but what we can do is get in some training, and we're going to be chatting to Inga in a little bit about different ways that we can use use this information. But yeah, it's great that it's up, and thank you so much to Edward Wilson for their help, and to Antar for wandering around Edward Wilson with us, looking at possible sites. So yeah, that's our new air pollution monitor. Okay. Does anybody, just before we go on, I don't know if anybody has anything else that they've been doing that's green related that they wanted to share with anybody in terms of Westbourne. Josephina, is your hand up?
It is, Lizzie.
Okay,
yes,
lovely.
I have a bear bug about people sitting in their cars. Oh, sorry, introduce myself. I'm Josephina. I'm a maternity champion at Westbourne. I work with all the other lovely ladies at Westbourne. Sorry for that.
That's all right, Josephina, go for it.
So I have a bear bug about idling of cars. I want to help. I would like help in setting up a petition, because last week, I haven't done it this week because I've tried to be good, but I stopped 5 cars, 5 men. It always seems to be men more, but anyway, sorry, that's not in any way prerogative. For idling, sitting there playing on their phones and with the engine running. The last guy who hit me was not hit me literally, but I said to him, he was young. I said to him, could you turn your engine off, please? So he said to me, why? So I said, well, you're polluting the air. So he said, well, what do I care about that? So I said, well, have you got children? And I said, yes. So I said, do you not care about the world for the future of your children? And he said, no, I don't. And that just blew me away. I would love to be able to set up or help somebody, or somebody help me set up a petition that we can take to Westminster on the idling of cars, because I also feel that traffic wardens should be involved in this.
Wonderful, thanks, Josephina. I think that's definitely something that that a lot of people are gonna share with you.
Thank you.
We are gonna have, I can see people with their hands out. We are gonna have some breakout rooms, and there is a breakout room on air pollution. So if anybody wants to kind of chat to Josephina about this and ideas, and I know that that Jill's here as well, and in Queen's Park they've done quite a bit on idling and air pollution
Wonderful.
campaign too. And we've also got Inga coming along, who might be able to share some of her experience as well. Has anybody got any other green projects that they'd like to? Joanna, you.
Yes, hi, yeah. I'm Citizens Advice. We're also based in the Stowe Centre. As you know, I just wanted very quickly to mention our Debt and Energy project, which is a 5-year project supported by the City Bridge Trust. And as we move into the 2nd year of the project, we're really keen to start working not just to provide energy advice, but also to work to move in towards supporting people around climate change, around what they can do. So we'd be really pleased to link in our volunteers with community champions and anybody working in that area. So I just wanted to flag that one up, and maybe when your new person, is it Lola, starts, we can touch base with her.
Great, thanks, Joanna. That sounds really exciting. So yeah, definitely fits into everything that we've been talking about. So that's great news. Super. Helen, I think.
Oh, hello, hi. Sorry, I was just distracted. Someone's knocking at my door. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
I just wanted to say it's so lovely to meet everyone. I work at Natural History Museum, and I just wanted to give a heads up that our museum gardens are reopening in June. We'll have a volunteer programme, and we'd also love community groups to come and have a guided tour of the gardens. So, you know, nothing just as yet, but in a few months' time, that'll all be kicking off. And I just wanted to, you know, let people on here know.
That's
Lovely.
great. I think
Thank
those
you.
ones have been a long time in the making, haven't they?
Yes.
Yeah, around kind of engaging residents with nature and
100%. Yeah, I mean, I started the October before last, and so I've been doing a lot of outreach in Westbourne area, and you know, as well as the Tri-Borough, because you also deal with Kensington and Chelsea and Hammersmith and Fulham. But yeah, so I've been out and about meeting people, though I don't really recognise any names on here, so it's so lovely to meet everyone. But I'm the volunteer manager there, so I'll be dealing with volunteers directly. So just wanted to get my face out there.
Wonderful. Thank you, Helen. And then Amy.
Hello, yes, I wanted to introduce myself and also to say it's so nice to see everybody. I recognise a lot of the names and I've seen some of the people here, but I just wanted to let you know about the project that I've been working on, because that's been in the North Paddington area, and in fact I've met some people through it already. I work for Westminster Adult Education Service, and we're doing a 1-year pilot project with the council about low carbon technology and renewable energy. It's a lot of it's to do with the retrofitting that's going on in the social housing in the area. So it's talking to the residents of this part of Westminster about what low carbon technology is, what renewable energy is, what retrofitting is, why it's happening, just so that you know, people are aware of it, and therefore if they're asked, you know, for permission to come into their flat to do works or something, they know what it is and why it's happening. The project started in February last year, so we're coming up for a year, and it's a 14-month pilot. So we are having had in-person sessions to teach on this topic. Earlier in the year, we're now working on resources. We've been doing some resource creation with people that have come along to the sessions, so that the project can be replicable maybe in other parts of Westminster or in other places. So that's what we're on at the moment, but I think there's sort of negotiations at the moment to see how the project might extend after that first year. So yeah, it's really useful to see everybody and to get to know what other things are out there, being mindful that we might be continuing this work for another year. So thank you.
That's great. Thanks, Amy. Sorry, I was looking at my agenda, so I might have missed this, but are you able to just do a little explanation of what retrofitting is, just for
Oh
anybody
yeah,
who
of
doesn't
course.
understand?
Yeah, retrofitting is where, well, specifically for what we're talking about, is where technologies like solar panels, air source heat pumps, for example, are added to existing buildings to make them more fit for purpose for the 21st century. A lot of the new buildings that are going up, like on the new one on Harrow Road opposite the Westminster Academy, they've got those things built in from new, but a lot of the housing in this part of London is already there and it's old, and so the solution there is to put the technology into the old buildings, and therefore it does involve sort of workmen coming in and out. It can be a bit disruptive for residents, which is why you know it's useful for people to know about this, because then they can, you know, then they'll know why it's happening, what they're being asked for. The one I guess that's most relevant for this area is on the top of the Warwick low-rise estate, because there are solar panels there now. I think it's the biggest solar panel array on social housing in the whole of Europe or something. So all the electricity for the communal areas on the Warwick estate is now being generated by the solar panels. And then further up towards Queen's Park, they've been doing retrofitting in some of the old sort of Edwardian Victorian properties there as well. So they've got air source heat pumps now, and other green things like there's oh, that's on the new build. They've got rainwater harvesting, for example, and electric vehicle charging points. But there's been insulation work going on as well in the retrofitting. So yeah, so
Great, thank you. Thanks, Amy. That's useful, and I guess the ultimate impact for residents as well is to
well, exactly. This is it. This is it. Yeah, it makes the houses warmer and less prone for damp and mold and things like that. So.
Thanks, Amy. Wonderful. It's great to hear about that training. And I know that, yeah, as I said, we're hoping to have somebody from Westminster Climate Change team coming in to talk a little bit more about things like that. So the solar panels on the Warwick estate. Neil, you've got your hands up. We're a little bit short of time. Is it another green project? You're on mute.
Of course, it's a green project. Just really very quickly to add to what Amy's saying, Amy, it would be good to get together. We're running quite a big group of housing providers with the council in North Paddington, looking at the more difficult side of retrofit, and the council are involved, as well as about 8 very big housing providers. So perhaps we can touch base at some point after this.
Okay, wonderful. So that's just a bit of a flavour of all the green things that have been happening around Westbourne. So there's been quite a lot going on, and I'm going to move on now to something, no pressure, Lola, but that I hope is going to magnify all of this and add a lot of momentum to the work of Green Westbourne. So I'm going to share my slide just because I've got a little bit of a summary here. So yes, great. So Lola is our new Community Climate Action Coordinator for North Paddington, funded by Westminster Council's climate change team and through the North Paddington programme. So the aim of Lola's role is she's going to be working across Westbourne, Queen's Park and Harrow Road wards, working with local residents and organisations on projects that reduce carbon emissions and increase engagement with green spaces and nature. So she's going to be bringing people together to share ideas, resources and best practice. So obviously that is what Green Westbourne does. So she's going to be sort of supporting the Green Westbourne Network and kind of adding a bit of resource to that, which is wonderful. Supporting existing projects. So if you've got any green existing projects that you think you're looking for funding for, or you think you need some additional support with, then she might be able to help to find some funding or to help with that, and also looking at opportunities for new projects and helping people to start up projects that they're interested to do. She's also going to be managing, which is quite exciting, a new team of climate champions based across those 3 wards. So in a similar sort of model to the community and maternity champions, for people who are familiar with them, they're going to be local residents who get trained up on lots of things related to climate, carbon emissions, green spaces, nature, and then they're going to be supported to run projects that they want to run, engaging local residents in those topics and increasing local residents' knowledge around those things. So it's really exciting, and we're really lucky to have Lola here. And it's so nice that you've joined us today, Lola, because you are still working in your current job and haven't yet started in this role. But I just wondered, Lola, did you want to just say hello to everybody? I'll stop sharing and just kind of give a little bit of an introduction to yourself and your and your background. That'd be great.
Hello, I didn't expect that to be so big of my face. It's really nice to meet you. This is really exciting. As Lizzie mentioned, I'm still in my current role, which is at the Scottish Wildlife Trust. I'm in Scotland. You might be able to tell by the fact it's so gloomy here. I've got like a fake sunlight lamp shining on me, and it's still not really enough. But I'm initially from London, moving back, which is very exciting. Sharing that job description has been great because it just looks so amazing. I'm so lucky to be able to do this. And hearing everyone talk today has been amazing as well. It sounds like you've got such incredible projects already going, and I can't wait to meet you all. But yeah, I currently work at the Scottish Wildlife Trust. I'm the partnerships officer for a project there. I've previously worked in unions, and do you know when you're doing these things and you forget of everything interesting about yourself? My favorite color is yellow.
Should be green. No. Thank you, Lola, and I do know when the spotlight literally is on you, everything goes on through your mind. But I think Lola's got some really interesting project work experience in Scotland, supporting sort of local communities to set up their own kind of climate related projects. Correct me if I'm wrong, Lola, I might have got this totally wrong. And also working sort of closely with communities in the Leith area of Edinburgh. So yes, we're really excited. I shall say, Lola, I did get goosebumps during your interview, so I'm very excited about you starting, and I know that you're going to be a great asset to everybody who's kind of interested in reducing carbon emissions and green engagement in North Paddington. So yes, fantastic.
Thanks. I can't wait to start.
I also have a question for everybody, just opinions. So I did mention that we are going to have it's going to be a climate champions project, so working with local volunteers who want to run their own climate and green related projects. There's a bit of a conversation now going on sort of about the names, so if anybody's got any comments about the name and wants to share that in the chat, if you think Climate Champions is good, or if you think there's a better name, then please share your thoughts or ideas. Yes, that would be just really helpful just to feed into that conversation. Okay. So I'm going to hand over to Jo from Grand Junction now. She's going to chat to us about the Go Green Festival, which is on the 9th of March. I know that she is looking for people to get involved, so I'm going to spotlight you there, Jo, so everyone can see you.
Hi everybody. Oh no, not again. Big face. Hi.
Big face, yeah.
Hello, me again. Yes, we are running a festival called Go Green Festival here at Grand Junction on Saturday the 9th of March between 2 and 5. Totally free, absolutely everyone welcome. So please put it in your diaries and share it with people that you work with and community members. It's going to be just a really fun community festival. So we're going to have things like face painting, of course, because everyone loves that, kids love it. We're also going to have obviously things like free healthy food on offer, teas and coffees, sort of sustainable art activities, maybe using clay. We're going to be doing planting, storytelling, all about nature, upcycling clothes workshop, hopefully with some students. We're going to be getting into here to do that clothes swap, which is great. And then we've got the council coming along. I've already secured Inga's coming along, so talk about the cleaner air. We've also got a member from the recycling team and the climate change team who are going to be on a stall doing different games and quizzes and activities as well. And obviously information about what can be recycled, what can't, which is obviously really important because it still confuses most people. We still have some budget left. We still, would love people to get involved. So if you want to come volunteer, or if you have a really great activity that you'd like to propose, please drop me an email. I'll put it in the chat. Yeah, and it's, as I said, it's Saturday the 9th of March between 2 and 5 at Grand Junction. Thank you. Is that all right, Lizzie?
Okay, yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions for Jo about the event? No. Okay, all right.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so what we're going to do, we've got a little bit of time until Inga comes in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put us into some breakout rooms. And Jo's put her email address there in the chat for everybody who wants it. So I'm going to put us into some breakout rooms to have a little bit of chat time, so we can just share any ideas or thoughts we've got from what people have said, questions or projects that you'd be interested in getting involved with. There's 4 breakout rooms: food growing, air pollution, reducing waste, and the Go Green Festival. So what's going to happen when I open the rooms is that you're all going to be able to choose which room you go into, and we'll have probably around 10 minutes in there, and then we've got Inga coming from Clean Air Bayswater, who's going to be sharing with us how they've used their air pollution monitor and the work they've been doing, which is really exciting around air pollution. Bit of inspiration. Okay, so I'm going to open the rooms. Hopefully it's going to work. If it doesn't, let me know. There we go.
Hello, Inga. We were just talking about you in the air pollution room. And I think that, yeah, I mean, Rachel's on this call. I don't believe you've met Rachel. Rachel's the community engagement officer at Westminster. We've suggested out of our room. Sorry, Lizzie, I'll just come in.
That's all right. I was going to ask you for a summary of your room. So
okay, we've suggested in our room that this is an issue that Lola could get involved in quite quickly, really, because it's pressing. It's a campaign as much as a series of issues. How we structure that campaign and what have you really needs a sit down and a think through. But everyone's on the same page on this one. I think Inga, your role could be critical here. I might be putting actions into your mouth.
So Inga's got a whole section, so which we're going to come on
okay.
to. So
right,
so let's just hear back from the other rooms, just and then we'll hand over to Inga to tell us a little bit more. Yes, did anybody want to feedback from the food growing room? Keith, can I volunteer you if you're there?
Yes, just to say we were just chatting about some of the possibilities. Lola was in our room, so we were telling Lola about the all the opportunities that are hopefully available around expanding and developing a children's allotment space next to the existing allotments on Westbourne Green. Steve was asking us some questions, and we were just discussing the challenges of food waste. So yeah, that was what we were covering. I think hopefully Lola's actually quite excited about the prospect of, she was just sharing her enthusiasm. We were talking about the large number of schools and partners involved in the area. So yeah, very exciting things hopefully in store.
Great, thanks, Kim. Super. And then I think everyone else was in the Go Green Festival. So Jo, did you want to just give a little summary on that one?
Yeah, we had some really nice ideas shared, which I've written all down and definitely going to take on board. Yeah, Helen says she's up for being involved and running something for children, which is great, all about bird calls. And I spoke with Henrietta about maybe a cookbook swap, which is really lovely. Myra was going to do some really lovely bird books. And Myra, am I correct in saying that you're going to try and get all of the estate agent, you know, those boards that just get abandoned and like schools use them to promote things?
Yeah,
Going to try and get some of them.
Yeah, we've got some lovely ideas with the children. The children come up with brilliant stuff. And one of the things we thought we'd do is make bird boxes out of discarded estate agents' boards. So they would actually have things that like kittens and foxes on them. But also,
and they're nice and sturdy, aren't they?
Yeah, we might get a bit of sponsorship from them as well, which is a bit cheeky. But what do they do with those boards afterwards? We want to know. So also the children giant insect with actual floors on it. So basement for stag beetles, earthworms on the ground floor, and they will
Moira
be into the letters.
Sorry.
Yes, hello.
Sorry, could I just interrupt? I just had an idea for your children. Could we encourage hedgehogs? I'm a hedgehog lover, and I just thought children would love that, to sort of try to get involved in hedgehogs.
Yeah, I would love that too. I worked with the Hedgehog Society when I was working at the Royal Parks. Tragically.
All right, well, there's something for the list is hedgehogs. So maybe Josephina, you can
write it down.
A chat to Myra on that one. Okay, lovely. I'm just aware of time. So Rachel, you've got your hand up? Did you have?
It's about 20 seconds, but hopefully it's helpful. So Joe, we don't know each other. It's lovely to meet you on this call. And we've got the North Paddington newsletter. It's basically a magazine that goes out to every household in the 3 wards. We are finalising copy. It's like the 11th hour right now in the next couple of days. If you can send me a few lines, I'll put my email in the chat. What you want to say, that is then going to promote your event to everybody. So let me do that for you. But send me some stuff.
That would be great. Yeah, I think we featured in your last one, so this would be amazing. If you could put your email in the chat, I'll get it over to you today.
Great, thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Rachel, and thanks to Lola, who's put a link to the big hedgehog map in the chat, which is a fun hedgehog map where you can see if hedgehogs have been seen in your area. So, but don't look now because you've got to concentrate on the meeting. Okay, all right, thanks for that, Lola. Right, so I'm gonna now, if everybody could mute again, that would be lovely, and I'm gonna hand over to Inga. So Inga actually was the one who kept me on the phone whilst I did the application for the air pollution monitor and wouldn't let me off the phone until I finished the application. So it is due to Inga that we have an air pollution monitor in Westbourne, so thank you very much, Inga. And she's just got some really exciting things that they've been doing in Bayswater, with their air pollution monitor and around air pollution. So I thought it would be great to have her just to share some of those things and sort of continue that conversation, really. So I'll hand over to you, Inga. I'm going to spotlight you.
Thank you.
Take it away.
Hi everybody. So yes, so we have had an air pollution monitor from Breathe London, which is the same one that you have got now. So Breathe London is a group of London community groups that have all applied for a monitor, and there are 60 groups now. So it's a network, and it's really valuable to share best practice and ideas and kind of collaborate across those Breathe London groups. But we were one of the first 10 that got a monitor, and we've had it in place since June 22. God, time goes very fast. And our ethos has been all the time, there is so much else going on in people's lives. So let's use it to as a way of a common reference point. But let's accept that everybody will be interested at different stages and to different degrees. But let's try to take everybody on a journey. So that has been our ethos. Let's try to engage people in as many different ways as possible, see what works, what doesn't work, but let's kind of make steady progress. We have you asked me, Lizzie, if we have the data, and we now have data for almost 2 years. So this is a good time for us to look at trends and what it tells us. But until now, we've been kind of pushing more for awareness and engagement rather than getting too caught up on the data, because we wanted to get the bigger picture. And for anybody who's interested, I'm very happy to do a separate session that goes into more details about the monitor readings and so on. Suffice it to say that what we have seen is that we've looked at winter versus summer and also 24 hours. And there is particular times of the day, not surprisingly, the rush hour, where the pollution, where our monitor is particularly strong. So that's on Porchester Road. And that, of course, and unfortunately, that coincides with when people are walking to work and when kids and their parents are walking to and from school, in particular in the morning. It's bad. In terms of the activities we've carried out, one of the first things we did was to have a launch event, and then we launched our website. And I think I'll just very quickly share my screen.
Let me just, I'm just going to make sure you can do that.
Yes. I think.
Okay, you should be able to.
Thank you. So I wanted to show our website. So we created this website, which was basically an introduction to who we are. And Lizzie, you can send out the link so people can familiarize themselves. But the key thing we put in there was just some steps that we can all take in terms of, just a few steps. So it's all that we're saying to people is there's some things you can do, 2 types of activities. Activities that help you reduce your exposure, which is really important. What can we do to kind of be exposed to less pollution? And then steps you can take to reduce the emissions you create. And that's kind of, we don't want to kind of say too many things, but we thought that's just a helpful starting point. So that is a website we keep on referring back to in our campaigns, and we've done petitions and so on, and we keep on going back to that website as a reference point. Oops, I've lost you. What we've also done throughout this period is try to engage with different people, different subgroups of the community. So in the first year, we reached out to the entire community, and we then reached out to businesses as well, because we wanted them to kind of support our campaign. And there are things that businesses can do in terms of, for example, the way they get deliveries and so on. So we engaged businesses. Last year, we spent a lot of time engaging with families. And that has been very successful, because that's, if you go and engage with kids, it's a very good way of getting parents on board, especially if you do competitions and activities. The kids and the parents get very competitive, and they learn along the way. And I think what we've learned as well, it's about making it light and engaging and fun rather than preachy, because it's a much easier way of getting people interested and on board. We've done a number of school assemblies, including St. Mary Magdalene. We have had some initiatives that are aimed where we do some webinars on specific topics like children and asthma and their exposure, and where we have specialists come on board, and we make those webinars available to the public across all the Breathe London groups. We've done one about the impact of air pollution on healthy people exercising in London. And so different topics that people can dip into if they're interested, but it also means that each community group doesn't have to develop their own specific content. They can promote it to their members. So for example, what we are doing here would be something that you would be able to communicate to the Westbourne group. We've attended your Westbourne Festival. We've held our own event where we invited members from your group. We've done so lots of engagement activities, and again, very happy to share our learning from that. In terms of going forward, we'll continue with engaging with any opportunity we have to come along. We have a stand, we have modular approach, we have a regular newsletter, but we are also, there are also some topics we want to focus on, particularly in this coming year, and one of them is air pollution from construction. And so we are going to host an event here in Bayswater with an expert from Imperial, and people from all the London groups are invited to come along, and that will take place at the end of April. And with the number of construction works that are either currently going on or planned, I think that'll be a good way of engaging the wider public in our area to come along and ask questions and learn about how air pollution construction sites can be mitigated. We're going to do some idling campaigns and trying to do them in an innovative way. We're going to do something particularly aimed at GPs to make sure GPs have all the information they need, and that also two-way communication, they can share with us what would be helpful from their perspective. Yeah, I think that's kind of a quick overview. And of course, I had the joy of coming along to the Green Champions. What do they call, Myra? Your amazing group of
the Green Kids Club. You were,
yeah,
it was really
amazing.
important.
Amazing. They were absolutely amazing. So, and at the moment, actually, we also in the half term, one of the things, the key learning, one of the pieces of key learning that I have found over the last 2 years is that schools have got so much going on. So it's fine to do assemblies and competitions with them. But I think the great opportunity is to do things in half term where you can really reach kids in a fun and engaging way again, but also help get them engaged in things that can inspire them for the future in green skills and so on. So we are actually in the February half term running 3 workshops with the youth club and the kids club at the Baptist Center with around the theme of air pollution and climate, how to make the environment better for all of us. So lots of things we can collaborate on, as we said, Lizzie, at the onset.
Wonderful, thanks, Inga. Yeah, there's so much crossover and yeah, an opportunity.
And Lena has been amazing. So, yeah, I should again say Lena, with the maternity champions. Yeah, lots of things.
I'm just gonna quickly share just this picture. I don't know if is that working?
Oh yes, our children's petition.
Yeah, it's just a little example of this nice. Did you want to say? Did you
say?
May
I say something? Yeah.
So
we did a petition, and we are going to get some kids to take it to Downing Street. So we have about probably 30 meters of children's signatures asking government to protect our air and show they care. And that's also in support in the for the environment law that Ella's law, you might have heard of Ella's law, where there is a request that the House of Commons will look at the environment bill and adopt the WHO guidelines for air pollution. So this is just the children's way of expressing their support. So we're looking to do that. And again, we will give you the date when we are going into Downing Street, and hopefully we can get some more, as many kids as possible along with the posters that they've created. So it's just a visual way of showing how engaged, and they love it.
Wonderful. Okay, so we've got sort of about 4 minutes for questions, and I'm going to open up the breakout rooms again, and one of them is specifically going to be around air pollution, so you'll have more opportunities to quiz Inga if you want to. But for now, does anybody have any questions for Inga? Oh, Neil, you've got your hand there.
Yeah, I think there's a coordinating issue here, Inga. Josephine gave us a lovely story about stopping motorists on the Harrow Road, which led into a conversation around how we can actually begin a campaign. But of course, that's a piece of work in itself. But I think that in responding to Josephine's activism, it's a good spur for us to look at how we can begin with Westminster Council to look at the issues, particularly our concern. My major concern for years has been Harrow Road and its pollutant destruction, and how we can begin to build something around that, in rather like you've done in Bayswater. This involves 3 wards right down the Harrow Road. So, maybe at some point we have a Harrow Road meeting which begins to plan out its campaign.
Yeah, very happy to be involved.
Jill, did you have a hand there? Is that... Oh, you were on mute at the moment.
I would very much like to join that, because I wrote the neighbourhood plan for Queen's Park, and we'd be very interested in joining with Westbourne to do that. That's all.
Lovely, thanks, Jill. Great. And Rachel.
The North Paddington programme is just now convening thematic groups to take forward big priorities, which will convene people from across relevant departments in the council, external stakeholders, and most importantly, community activists and representatives, because you know your community's best. So it's not for the council to just come up with what needs to be done. So Matthew, who will be coming to the next meeting, is leading on the climate-based work, as you know. I'm just flagging it because when we're talking about kind of cross-ward big issues like air pollution, that would strike me as a place to have those conversations so we can really start to join up, as Neil says, do the coordinated work, the larger scale campaigns, the big ticket items, you know, even potentially lobbying national government or the mayor's office or whatever, that sort of thing. So have a think about it, Lizzie and Neil, but the right people on that group would strike me as really important.
Thanks, Rachel. So I think from a Green Westbourne perspective, then we can take this to the Green Westbourne Committee and kind of decide how they want to take things forward with air pollution. But there's definitely lots of great opportunities to join up, across North Paddington to amplify the impact. So I think once Lola is in post, then she can sort of start those conversations with the Green Westbourne Committee and kind of come back to everybody. So wonderful, thanks. And Helen, I think we've just got time for you.
Yeah, all I was going to ask, I'm having problems copying people's addresses from the chat. I just wondered whether you could circulate a list of people in the meeting if people were happy with that.
I'm going to try and share the chat. So, but otherwise,
I will
okay, all right,
okay.
In the meeting, yes, definitely.
Thank you.
Okay, and a quick one from Jill. Last minute. Oh, you're on mute.
I thought I was on.
You now you unmuted and now you're on mute again.
Let me do that again. Okay. I think it'd be wonderful if we worked far more closely together. We've got an absolute specialist on air pollution called Ray Lancashire. I don't know if any of you know him, but he's done so much work on air pollution, and it would be a huge waste not to have him working very closely with Westbourne.
I think you're right, Jill, and I think that's a really big part of what we're hoping that Lola is going to be able to achieve, because her role is going to be focusing on kind of green and carbon related issues across North Paddington. Then she's going to be able to connect the dots and bring people together. So as soon as she starts, she's going to be getting out and about to Westbourne, Harrow Road and Queen's Park and meeting everybody so that we can make sure that all the right people are in the room for these conversations. So. Okay, super. So we've got 9 minutes left. I'm just going to open up the breakout rooms for probably most of that, and just so that if anybody wants to have a chat to Inga, then that's great. And the rest of the breakout rooms, I'd love it if you could just chat about what would be a great thing for Green Westbourne to focus next. So what's next for Green Westbourne? You know, where should our focus be? I'll copy the priority projects into the chat so that you've got that as a little bit of a reminder. But yeah, it would just be good to have a bit of a conversation about what next. So I'm going to open the breakout rooms. All right, sorry, that was a very quick final conversation. I just want to make sure everybody gets off on time. So yes, thank you so much everybody for coming along. We've only got 1 minute left, so I'm just going to finish with some next steps. So just a reminder to let Jo know if you want to get involved in the Grow Green Festival on the 9th of March, and I'll share her email address and hopefully the chat after this. And even if you're not involved, then go along and look out for the poster and everything and tell all your friends. Let me or Lena know if you're interested in coming along to a Green Westbourne committee meeting. So we do want more members for the committee. So particularly if you're a Westbourne resident, then that'd be great. And look out for Lola after she starts on the 19th of February. And please do say hello so that she can start to link up things across North Paddington. So that's it for today. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. Sorry, it was a bit of a quick finish, but lovely to see you all here, and really excited for what 2024 is going to bring for Green Westbourne. So yes, thank you for coming.